Even after all the years I've played this game, never once did I really think about doing a review for it. Now, this is some parts laziness, but it's also because reviewing a geopolitical simulator or even a grand strategy game is a hard thing to do. It's easy to grab the latest FPS title and point out flaws like the movement feels sluggish, the multiplayer is unbalanced, the visuals suck ass, brr 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 brr. But it's hard to take a geopolitical game and attempt to compare it on a similar pedestal. Think about it. If we look at Superpower 2 the same way you look at the most recent Call of Duty game, your review would sound something like, the graphical representation of the game is sorely lacking. What little 3D rendered models exist in the game look like they came straight out of 2001. What's more, the game is riddled with bugs, some even game breaking, with modding tools that barely function, and blah 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 blah. You get my point. And seriously, if you think about it, you spend a majority of your time doing this. 99% of the human population is going to look at that and be like, I'm just going to go and play my League of Duty of Warcrafty Minecraft. So, I don't think I can review this game in the objective sense. Instead, I'm just going to talk about why I like the game, and why it's been a reoccurring game in my extensive armory of strategy titles. I'm sure there are a ton of things I'm going to miss, but I feel like just pointing out some general things will get my point across. It should also be mentioned that I've decided to do this as a numbered list format, because screw it, I'm the Commissar bro, and when have I ever made anything easy to view? Reason number 1. Stupid shit. Whether it's the US nuking every major country in the world, or just Djibouti spreading her amusement parks to the 4 winds, this game is downright full of stupid shit. And I love that. A lot of geopolitical simulators and grand strategy games get caught up in having major restrictions to warfare, or even major repercussions for conquering indiscriminately. Take Hearts of Iron, for example. If you play as a democratic nation, you can't just easily declare war on someone who has not shown himself to be a major aggressor like Germany. This leads to games ending rather predictably. Not that the ride isn't enjoyable, mind you. Superpower 2, on the other hand, just kinda lets you do it. Sure, people might get a little pissed off, but as long as you don't get too frisky, they will let you annex to your heart's content. Something else that's stupid in this game, vehicle customization. I mean, you can take a T-34 chassis with an Abrams turret and Tiger treads, and you've now got your own tank. And don't even get me started on that downright ridiculous weapons market feature the game has. I mean, come on. What other game just has a market where you can buy American M1A2s at production cost? I'll just answer that for you. There isn't one. And seriously, how many games can you conquer Europe with the Vatican? Let me just design the Christinator real quick and get this war on the road, shall we? Reason number 2. Simplistic sophistication. The game parades itself as an incredibly in-depth simulator, and you can frequently find that it was created using facts directly from the CIA. And at first, the game may seem a bit daunting to someone who doesn't actually understand its systems, and you know what, don't worry, that's okay. Surprisingly enough, Superpower 2 is actually really simple, and all the mechanics work hand in hand. Every law, every budget slider, it has a purpose, and the game puts itself on display through a couple of easy-to-use menus. It's not like scrolling through menus upon menus like when you're playing Supreme Ruler Ultimate. The game is just complicated enough, and after a few playthroughs, you'll quickly realize that the game isn't really all that complicated at all. It's actually pretty simple. I know this whole explanation is a bit vague, but people who've played the game know what I'm talking about. Oh, and pro tip, use the F1 key to give you tooltips. Reason number 3. Lots of replayability and mods. Seriously, this game is full of replayability. You can play as any UN-recognized country in 2001, and with the painstaking detailing from such modders as Mr. Monday, Red Communist, and a whole plethora of other community modders, you can play as modern-day countries and even as terrorist groups. Feel like playing the Cold War in Superpower 2? There's a mod for that. How about World War II? There's a mod for that too. There are even some badass mods that are unique creations or based on books, like A World Divided, Siberian Confederation, or A Man in the High Castle. Seriously, after a decade, I can still find a refreshing way to play this game, and that doesn't even count the multiplayer portion. And speaking of multiplayer, that brings me to my final reason. Reason number 4. This damned community. That's right, I said it. And whether half of them are willing to admit it, a big reason this game hasn't burned into the vestiges of obscure gaming history is because the community has worked so damn hard to keep it alive. Whether it's the trolls, the modders, the RPers, the single players, or just sappy fake commissars like me, we love this game. Even if it's total bullshit sometimes, and it's completely filled to the brim with stupid bugs that could probably be easily patched out if Golem Labs would just show some tender love and care, and nuking in a multiplayer game is so fucking lame, especially when you've been playing for 4 hours and some jackass just hopped on the server and decided to be a total freaking douchebag, and it's so goddamn stupid how rank 3 tier 7 armies could beat rank 3 tier 10 armies, and I swear to freaking Buddha that I'm gonna figure out how the hell to do that. It's the last damn thing I do. But at the end of the day, I'll never forget the experiences I've had with this game, with my friends, my comrades, and everybody else. I love this game. It's one of my favorites.